It's Saturday, October 19th, 2024. And if I look cold, I kind of am. It's a fairly chilly morning. It's 3 degrees C out here right now. And there's a little bit of a south breeze, not too little. It's a good little breeze when it's cold. But I want to get these bees treated again with oxalic acid vapor before the day gets too warm. Today's forecast high is 14 C. And once they start to fly, it's just a lot more bother to do, not even to speak about perhaps efficacy, clustering, presence of bees in the hive, etc., etc. It's just a lot harder. So when they're clustered, when it's cold, you can put the vaporizer in the entrance and shoot the vapor into the hive without much trouble at all. I have my InstantVap Compact here, and my InstantVap Compact brought a friend. So I'm going to be tag teaming this thing and try to get this job done real fast. And we'll see exactly how long it takes to burn off, 2 grams of acid and 4 grams of acid. One thing that I learned a lot of things about this yesterday. I talked to the manufacturer for about an hour on the phone. One of the things I learned is there's no insulation in this housing here. This is just an air gap. The burn chamber is much smaller than this, or at least it is smaller than this, and I can kind of see it through the front here. There's maybe a half an inch of an air gap there. The original unit that he made, when people would wash it, sometimes they'd get water down inside there. It would get on the insulation, and then that would prevent the bowl from warming up properly. So he's solved that, and I think it's a good solution because it was cool as well when I treated hives last time, and it didn't slow this thing down at all. So I've got to get my mask on and everything. I've got my big respirator ready again, and here's a little deal. So my entrances are just it's about 11-inch entrance or so, and I just have a wedge. See how that wedge is like that? I just jam that in there, and that's sufficient. Now, I was glad to see that most of my entrances are sized so that this will go in the gap that it's left. It's about 3 inches. So what I wanted though was I wanted a way to kind of block off this area here because the bees can come out there. So I made a couple of prototypes in the shop yesterday, and they just kind of wedge in there like that, and that'll go right in the entrance. They're friction fit, so they're kind of hard to push in. But anyway, that'll go right in the entrance like that, because that's a 5/8 piece, and my entrance is 3/4, so there's a bit of space there for it to fit. And I think that'll help out to block the entrance while I'm treating, and then once I take it out, the bees can scurry out if they need to. All right, enough talk. We need to get at this. So you can see I've got a myriad of batteries here. I've got my 2 battery chargers. They're connected to my inverter that runs off the battery for my solar fence controller. So what I want to check here is the spacing for this. See, this will go right in there, sits in that entrance, just 100% perfectly. Okay, this one over here, it's just maybe a little tight, but I can see this reducer is not pushed over to the side the way I'd like. And if I have any that are too long, I've cut a few to fit in there and give me a little extra space. So what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to do a 2-gram test. So we'll set this plunger at 2 grams. And I learned yesterday that if I'm using fresh oxalic acid crystals, they're fairly dry, and I for a lot of it I had to tip the thing like this. If the crystals aren't that dry, meaning if they're a bit older, they'll pick up in the tube a lot better. So this is an older container, so that works great. And when I bought the second vaporizer, I bought a spare plunger, so I can really go fast now. Have a plunger ready as soon as the vaporizer is done its job, and swap that out right away. So we'll set these at 2 for now. I love how he's constructed this whole thing of very good quality stainless steel components. There's no cheaping out with components with this system. Okay. I don't know if you can see the markings 1, 2, 3, 4 on there. So the little plunger just moves up as you turn the knob on the end. Pretty basic stuff. Okay, so I'm going to use the one that I've already used. We'll put an empty plunger in it, and then I'm going to choose a small battery to warm it up. Okay, so battery's in, switch is on. A nice thing, I complimented Janos on this, that this is full sun, and I can see, the video might not pick it up real well, but I can see that is a very bright LED in full sun. So I'm very, very happy about that. The construction of this thing is just amazing. The gauge of metal that he uses, it's all stainless, very high quality fasteners, precision build. It's obviously all lasered. This guy definitely is meticulous, and I appreciate that in tools. I think if you watch my channel, you'll know that. So I'm going to warm this up, and then I'll change the battery out to a 5-amp battery, and I'll count how many 2-gram vaporizations I do on this 5-amp, on the 5-amp battery, right? So we'll put a brand new 5-amp battery in, and then we'll do 2-gram applications until it's dead. Okay, the unit is heated up. I have a fresh 5-amp battery here. Okay, so I'll take this plunger out, put this one in, I'll put it in the hive first. Just give the plunger a push, and away we go. I'm not wearing my mask, so I have to be very careful where I stand in relation to where the vapor is blowing. There's enough of a breeze here that it's should be well controlled. Okay, so that's a burn. I've got another plunger ready here. Pull that out. Do another burn. I should remember to do the bottom colonies first because it agitates the bees that come flying out. So this is 2 grams again. Okay. And look at how fast I've treated 4 colonies almost. Well, I've almost treated 3 colonies, but I will have 4 done pretty quick. I've treated these colonies that fast. I'm liking this entrance idea. Oh, I was afraid of that. My little block of wood stayed in there. Okay, we'll continue with the test though. Don't want to delay. Put it in this one. Looks like some of my pallets are not exactly built to spec, which is not surprising. Sometimes I've been told that sometimes people will put a bottle cap full of water in that container of oxalic acid just to help it cake a little better into the plunger. To get this block of wood out. So I can go right to the next one and then pull the plunger and get the next plunger in there. Get a little bit of vapor. It's only 30 seconds, so it doesn't give me much time to do anything else, which is good. In the big picture, I'd like to be the determining factor as to how fast I can do my work, meaning I don't like to wait around on the machine. I think the acid seeps under the box into the adjacent box because the bees often come out the box on the other side. This is 25. I think with the battery operated, you need to be swift because as it sets, you're still using battery to keep it warm. I mean, it's not constantly heating, but I mean, it'll be cooling the whole time. And it doesn't seem to... Yeah, I think that battery's depleted now. So it looks like I got 24 reliably. So I'd say that's pretty good. Again, I can't remember exactly what Janos said I should be getting, but that was 24. So to give yourself a little margin, if you're trying to calculate how many amps of battery you need to do your apiary, 2 gram doses, if you just used a figure of a quarter of an amp, then a 5 amp battery give you 20 reliably. And again, that's a little margin, right? So, and I think you can say that double the dose, 4 gram dose would cut that in half. So a 4 gram dose would give you 10 to 12. So that's just, you know, my unscientific observation here. Suffice it to say, I'm really in love with this little vaporizer. Used it the one day and then went out and bought a second one because honestly, I'm going to be treating these with more than 2 grams. And so you can imagine that I've got a little more waiting time, and I can get the second unit loaded and going in that time. Now, having said that, I'm going to be using up my batteries twice as fast, probably more than twice as fast, because I may have more waiting time. You know, one of the vaporizers may be sitting idle for more time, and so therefore that'll be using up battery for no good reason. However, that's okay. Like I said before, I want to be the determining factor as to how fast or how long this takes. I don't want to be waiting on a machine to finish this job. So if the machine is always ready for me to do my part, that's exactly what I want. Okay, well, I got some more work to do here. That's, you know, say that's 25. There's 5 times that yet to do. So I'm going to be having to charge some batteries. I've got the standard, this is the Milwaukee system, as you probably noticed. I've got the standard Milwaukee chargers. And I've noticed, I was doing some research online, that there are fast chargers available and they're affordable. So I'll be investing in 1 or 2 of those fast chargers. Read comments online that they actually will charge a battery twice as fast as a standard charger. I'm not sure if that is harmful to the battery at all. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. So that'll help me. You know, you either put your money in charging capacity or you put your money into battery capacity. So I think I've got to strike a balance here. I believe that I'm going to have to buy at least 2 more batteries. There's a couple of 6 amps that I see on Amazon. It's a 2-pack. It works out $140 per battery. So I'm going to invest in those, but that'll be next year. The chargers and the batteries will be next year. I'm going to limp along the way I am this season. You know, this has been a lot of money because I bought the vaporizer and everything. So there is an investment there. But that's just kind of the approach that I think I'm going to take with it. Anyway, I got to get at this. The sun is up and it's getting warmer and the bees are going to come out and start hassling me. Thanks for watching. It's Monday, October 21st, 2024. Now you can see I've worked ahead and released a couple of these trays of wax. This one, these 2 actually, these were 2 of the 3 last trays that I poured. They had the water in them, so they've got a bit of gunk on them. These I'll keep for my waxing of my frames. And this one is one of the others that I poured, and it still has a bit of stuff on the bottom of it. So I'm about to release the rest of these. They did crack a little bit, but you know, what are you going to do? So here we go. So now, what everybody's been waiting for, I'll weigh it. That's 144.8 pounds. 41.4. It's about 186 pounds there. It's a little bit in the melter yet, but that'll be for my own use. I'll keep probably 50 to 75 pounds of this and then sell it either to customers as filtered or to my customer as just this. So of course I get a premium as filtered, but it's a lot more work and it takes a lot more time. So regardless, he really likes getting my wax, so he gets quite a bit of it. Thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Now it's a chilly day. It's not even real early in the morning and it's chilly. The wind has shifted from south to north. It's 6 degrees out here. I don't know what time it is, but it's late in the morning. I think it's 11 o'clock, something like that. I've been doing some work indoors till now, but today is the day to come and remove these pails. Our warm weather has ended. The forecast does not show any more warmer weather. And when I say warmer weather for fall, warmer weather is north of 15°C in my book. So we really don't have a lot of that coming up. So the ability for these bees to take and cure this feed is done. They cannot do that anymore. I'm sure they have plenty of open feed in there, but they'll have to do their best. They'll eat that first anyway. So a certain amount of open feed is fine. So you can see that I've got more small pails out here than I have large. So there's going to be a lot of walking, and I'm going to have wet feet, and I didn't wear my water boots. I wore my shoes, so I'm going to have wet feet. Yeah, so there's less and less things to do out here, but there's still stuff that needs to be taken care of. I've got pallets that have, no pallet mate. I have a single and a double on there. So the reason, actually, this is one that I brought home from an outyard. The reason I dropped it there is I'm going to take that single, I'm going to drop it right there, and I'm going to take that double and drop it right there. And that's why this thing is sitting here. So it's just sitting here waiting for the day when I do that. I'll do it on a non-windy, wet, miserable, cold day. So I'm going to get a lot of cold days coming up, so we'll be fine to move these bees short distances. My rule is if they don't fly in a day, they don't remember where they live. That's my rule. Maybe not scientific, but that's my rule. So you can see there's a couple here, a couple doubles that are just single pallet. So I have to move those. There's quite a few to move, to be honest. And then when I'm doing that, I get that done. Then I can take the singles and I can stack them up. I mean, I can stack the doubles anyway, but there's no point. But the singles, you see these singles over in the side there, that's the ones I brought from the outyard. I've left them stacked because I'm not going to manage those anymore. I'm done managing, and that's how they're going to go into building. I just come out here with the tractor and I grab those, and away I go. So I got to get at this, pick up these pails. The wind is coming up, and it's cool. I'm not even in short pants, so you know it's cold. Okay, I hope you're having a wonderful day. So, yeah, I didn't tell you what I'm going to do. So a lot of these pails actually have quite a bit of syrup in them. I've got my tank back near the house, and I put some Pro Health in there because also in my experience, sugar syrup will stay good. It'll stay from going sour if it has Pro Health in it. So I've got a tank with some Pro Health, and I'm just going to dump all this syrup back in the tank. I did that last winter, as you might recall. So that works really good. It's a good investment. There can be, $1,200 to $1,800 worth of syrup in a tank, and it costs $150 for a gallon of Pro Health to put in that. But it's, it's a good investment to save that syrup over the winter. It'll go sour, and then you've got nothing. Well, then you got to get rid of it, which is a stinky mess anyway. So that's what's going on. I'm just putting them in the back of the truck here. It's a little bit windy. I was thinking I'll bring a tractor and a pallet, but it's a little bit windy. So if the pails aren't heavy, the wind will blow them off the pallet. So I'm going to stick them in the back of the truck here, and it's got the canopy on it, and the wind won't blow them away. All right, I'm stalling. Thanks for watching. It's Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. And a cool morning it is. I'm out here a bit earlier than I normally would be because I want to catch the cool day, and I want to make sure I get this done. It's 5 degrees C right now and a bit of a breeze here, so it is fairly cool. I'm about to apply my third round of oxalic acid vapor to these colonies. I've got the vaporizers warming up here. I'm kind of developing a routine on how to do this. I'm learning that I can burn through a couple of these batteries, a little bit of residual acid in them that's blowing off because they're up to temperature now. I can burn through a couple of these batteries before I can charge one. So my solution is to not get that far through the batteries before I charge them. We'll see how that works today. So what I did, I don't want to breathe that. So what I did was I warmed these up. There's 5 amp batteries on there, and then I'll take those off and put those 5 amp batteries on my charger and replace them with a couple of fresh 5 amp batteries just to recover that. I think Yano said it takes an amp to warm them up. It might be taking a little bit more this morning because it's fairly cold out here, and the machine sat in my shed, so they're pretty cold. So we'll change those off. These are microprocessor controlled, so I'm just gonna start fresh, turn them on again. It's always a good idea to reboot your computer, right? So put these back on the chargers, and by the time I burn through those, these should be fresh again, and then I can go from there. So I don't know that I need to bore you with this. You've seen it a number of times already, and I'm just going to be vaporizing oxalic acid vapor into these colonies as usual. And I'm still a big fan. I love this system. I do need a little more battery capacity and or charging speed. As mentioned, these chargers are the standard chargers. Milwaukee has a fast charger that I understand is about half the time to charge a battery, twice as fast. So I think if I get 1 or 2 of the fast chargers, it might keep up with me as I'm doing things here today. I only have 3 5 amp batteries. I have a 9 amp battery and I have a 3 amp battery. Besides that, I only have some of my tiny little 1.5 and 2 amp batteries, which really aren't all that much good. But if you've got one colony to do, those can save your day. All right, I'm going to get at this. I have a reliable breeze here, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I don't recommend this, but I'm going to cheat and leave my mask off for a minute so I can talk to you. A couple of people commented that they use a much shallower container so that they can really pack in the crystals better. And I think that's probably a good idea. So my method is to go to the farther one from me on the bottom. Get that one going. Do the bottom ones first. I don't know if I'll have such a problem today, but if the bees come boiling out of there, they often do, then I'm not working I'm not working past them. Coming out of the top hives. Okay, that one's done. That's pretty fast. Boy, that's fast. I'll put that mask on. That's 4 done already. No standing around with 2 of these. I'm blowing in 4 grams. So that's 8 done out of 4 grams. I made an error there. I didn't look at the indicator light before I dropped the acid in. It wasn't warmed up. So it's warming up now. I think it should still burn off properly eventually. So it's done, but it's warming up again. Okay, as you can see, this is not giving me time to stand around, which is what I want. Okay, I've exhausted my batteries, so I'm going to go do some other chores while they charge, or well, 2 of them charge. That's all I can do at once. But that took me an hour, and I vaporized 4 grams into 89 colonies in an hour. The last few, probably the last 10 or 12 maybe, I only had 1 vaporizer going because I didn't have another battery for the second one. So that did slow me down a little time-wise. Not too bad though. Boy, these things are not slow. They're fast. Even just one of them, they're fast. But you can kind of use that as a guide as to what I did. And I was hopping. You know, there was a few times when the vaporizer was waiting on me, but that's okay. Then I just have to work a little quicker. I just don't want to wait on the vaporizer. And in this system, I don't wait on the vaporizer. However, now I wait on batteries. So fast chargers and maybe more batteries is really what's in order. So yeah, 89 colonies, 4 grams in 1 hour. That's pretty darn good, I think. So we'll come back here in a little bit. I've done all the 10s, all the 10 framers, and I've got to do all the 6 framers. That'll go a little faster because I'm vaporizing. I haven't decided 2 or 3 grams in those. They're only 6 frame singles, so I don't want to hit them too hard. And that'll go a lot faster. So again, I've said before that if I was vaporizing only 2 grams or less per colony, I wouldn't buy a second one of these because it would kind of be a waste. That thing is so fast with 2 grams that you don't really wait around. I might have a second plunger just so I can have it loaded, but there wouldn't be much point in buying 2 units if you're only doing 2 grams. Since I'm doing 4 grams, then it makes it worthwhile. So I'll pick this up again later. Thanks for watching. Winter's coming. It's Friday, October 25th, 2024. And you might be able to see the shadows are getting long. This is getting to the end of my day. The sun is getting so low so early these days. But I had a good week. The weather is a beautiful, beautiful day. It's only 9°C, so it's not particularly warm, but the sun is very bright. Today I just spent time cleaning up the honey house, cleaning up the yard, just winter prep stuff, right? And so that's really all I have for you today and for this week. So I'm going to put this together and upload it for you so you can enjoy it with your coffee or whenever you're viewing this. But I will tell you that you should subscribe to my channel because you'll want to be watching over the next few days because I have something new to show you. And that's all I'm going to say. So watch for that, and I'll show you how that thing goes. Take care. Have a great weekend. Have fun.